out the right direction.
Let's go the right direction, otherwise I'd be lower.
You'd be really low.
Thank you, Sally.
You're very welcome. Donna.
Good morning. As I've kind of told most of you personally, it is so good to see you. It's been 2 months since I've been here. 2 months? That's amazing. Yeah, maybe, because I can't even see my talk. Yeah, but when I do that, I'm down here. Nobody can see me. And as our great joy, we saw the elk this morning. So that was a real treat, because we haven't seen it very much on our way over. Lois came with me again today, so it was wonderful. All right. Love your voices. I love your smiles. So I've been sharing with you, you might not remember since it's been so long since I've been here, but I've been sharing with you in the last couple of sermons about how important it is for us to recreate our broken systems so that we can establish systems that work for all the species on this planet. I have talked about the high consciousness of Mother Earth and how much she loves us and that she wants us to be happy. I have shared with you some of the necessary changes that we are going through in order to move to a higher level of individual and collective consciousness as humans. I have shared with you the fact that we created this world and it is up to us to change it. No one else. It is our responsibility. No one else can do that. It is the domain of humanity. I also shared with you that we are divine co-creators, and there is an unlimited supply of possibilities in creation. What Deepak Chopra called the quantum soup. I have shared with you that we are now in the great change, that the prophets and indigenous peoples have talked about for generations. The great change is a movement into higher consciousness. And it necessarily brings with it chaos. And that always happens when you move from one point to another, from point A to point B. And we're right in this chaos right now. And, this could be scary for a lot of us. It could be painful, but it can also be exciting. To me, it's exciting because change is inevitable. And just by the fact that we are beings presently on this planet, we are participating in this great change. Whether you feel like you are or not, you are. So the big question is, how can we participate in this great change using the wisdom of our quantum powers? This is a holographic universe. And we are each like a micro-universe containing all the powers of the entire universe. It is within us. And this means that we are filled with possibilities. Jean Houston says that all of these quantum powers require good intention, so they cannot be misused. I think that's so reassuring because, we have been misusing some of our powers, but when we go to the quantum level, that's where we find those positive intentions. So that is just, like I say, very reassuring to me. So how do we access these quantum powers so that we can use them intentionally and constructively in this exciting transformation that we're going through right now? And what does it require? It requires us to make critical shifts in our perception of reality. And this is difficult unless you open your heart to do it. Jean Houston says we are in the most critical time in human history where the issues truly are grow or die, evolve or perish. That's where we are right now. Time and space. Time and space were created by us. And they were created so that we could have experience. Time and space bring with them, by their very nature, limitation. experiences bring with them the creation of perceptions about life. The life that we live in this time-space relative realm of existence. Perceptions are colored by how we interpret the experiences that we are having now and all of the experiences we have had in the past in every lifetime we've ever been here. They have been amassed in our subconscious, most of which are unknown to us. They have a great deal of power in running our lives and we don't even know it. And guess what? Our science is telling us that most of them are not true. Most of our perceptions are not true. That could be scary, right? Yes, that could be scary. But these perceptions, we hold our current view of what is happening from those perceptions. And it makes sense to us. I mean, this is what we do. We have to make sense of what's going on around us. But they still are not necessarily true. So in fact, and I have read this from many sources. I don't have any to give to you today because I couldn't find them. But I have read from different sources that we only see 1% of what's out there. 1%. 1%. So it's important that we begin to realize what those perceptions and beliefs, agreements and opinions are. And we have to ask ourselves these questions. Are these agreements, these beliefs, and opinions valid? I mean, if there's so much out there we don't see, and if science is saying a lot of it's not true, a lot of our perceptions are not true, then isn't it time to maybe question some of these beliefs that we hold and these opinions? Do I still want to live by these beliefs and opinions? Am I willing to question them and do the inner work to assess whether they are valid or not? It's very important for us to do that. Because as I've said so many times in the last 2 or 3 months, our systems are not working. So how do I go about changing the way I see things? Well, the root of the problem is we believe in limitation. And for us to change, we must believe it is possible to go beyond limitation. We must believe that a new operating system can be created and overcomes the perception of limitation. This is all possible. And how do we do this? We do this by accessing our quantum powers. I believe it was Einstein who said you cannot, solve a problem on the same level you've created it. We have to go higher. And we have not done a really good job trying to do it on the same level. So, I've been taking this course from Jean Houston. I've never been drawn to her, but for some reason I was drawn to her, and she's really touched me deeply. I'm just amazed at her teachings. So I'm very much enjoying these teachings, and I'm going to share some of it with you, probably this time and next time. But she is telling us how to unlock those quantum powers. So she offers 3 keys to accessing them. And the first key is to gain clarity about the true nature of reality. And as I mentioned above, that we must understand that we are like a micro version of the entire universe. This is a holographic universe. So the universe lives within each one of us. If you don't know what a hologram is, do you ever remember, this is when I was a kid, so many years ago, but you got these things that mine I remember was Jesus, and you cut it in half, and the whole picture's in both halves. And it doesn't matter how many times you cut it, the whole picture is in every little piece. This is a holographic universe. You are the universe. Each one of you has a universe within you. How powerful is that? I mean, the power is already with us. In fact, we are this reality. So we have been focusing on the physical, the relative realm, and we have forgotten our true spiritual nature. So forgetting our true spiritual nature has led us to rely a great deal on our egos. And our egos believe in the world and not the spiritual aspects of true nature. In fact, it scares the egos because when we start believing in ourselves, guess what? The ego dies. So it's going to tell you, no, you're not a spiritual being. So when we rely on our egos to guide us through life, do we not feel we have no power? We feel like the world is taking us and throwing us around and giving us all these challenges that we can't do anything about. But guess what? We can. And to overcome this, though, we must believe in that inner power that we have. Plato shared a story about people who have been chained inside of a cave since childhood. Their backs are against the light, and they only see the play of shadows on the wall in front of them. And they believe that that is their reality, that it's only the shadows. That's their reality. Now, in some sense, we are chained in our own caves of experiences, our tradition, our habits, and yet there is so much more everywhere around us. Again, we only see 1%. But we're afraid to look, aren't we? We get caught in our little, comfort zone, and we're afraid to look. Even if our comfort zone doesn't feel very good, at least we know what it is. So we unconsciously believe that the shadows are all that there is, and that is the way it is. Now, we're always thinking in old restrictions and old habits that keep us in these comfort zones, even though we become very bored with them, don't we? Yes, we become very bored, and then what do? We create some kind of pathology or some awful thing, to keep us busy and distracted. And yet then we even fear those things that we created. So we don't even know that transformation is possible because we get so trapped in that. So how do we get out of it? Big question. As Plato's story continues, he says some begin to turn around and see a new reality. Plato says we do this through education, awareness, and higher understanding or higher consciousness. The universe is not separate from the universe that is within each one of us. So when you begin to create in a way that allows the universe to come through you, all kinds of things happen. You have a new entry point. Your unbounded nature begins to be released. Your deepest possibilities become available, and your great ideas become manifest. How good is that? So those who turned around in the cave, the meditators, the mystics, the higher creative folks, readily see the cosmic connections, the potential entry points in the light, and they see that the light is the larger universe of full potential. Creative ways that go beyond what you could ever think of. Unlimited, eternal. I mean, those are words that, can you really get your mind wrapped around them? Eternal, forever. I mean, no beginning, no end. I love them, but do I really understand them? But we can understand them. And here you can create an intention that sets up reverberations that then come into form all the things that you desire because you are working within the quantum field, working within the light. You're working within the larger universe. That's when the great things happen. Our perception of the universe actually evokes the universe as we perceive it to be. What that means is when we change the way we view the universe itself spontaneously reflects the change back to us, because the universe is not separate from our perception. which means that our creative imagination is truly divine. That's connection, that's oneness. So how our universe manifests is dependent on how we turn away from the shadows that we have created, how we both individually and collectively co-created. Now the real power is in the viewing, how we decide to experience the universe. Not as a bunch of shadows, but as a living creative partner in imaging, designing, creating a new world, new realities for us all. So we are pioneers. We are the pioneers of a whole new order of being that is taking place right now. And we are in a time of full system change at every level. And guess what? The female and male are coming together. This is the time that that's happening. So we have to believe in the universe, and it will support you. So Jean's 3 keys that I want to share with you today. The first, that was the first key. The second key is unlocking the life beyond limitations. And so this means living the new story of unlimited possibilities instead of living in limitation. So that means holding intentions that affirm, and this is my favorite one that I affirm, this or something greater. This or something greater, because at this point, maybe there's something so much more, that's so much greater out there that I can't conceive of. So always ask for this or something greater, and the universe will respond. And you will be amazed at the greater. Let me tell you, you will be amazed. I have been amazed so many times, like, wow, my prayer was really answered. Like when I went to Australia and New Zealand, it was sunny the whole time and it was winter there. I had prayed for sun. And they were saying, oh, wow, this is so unusual. I didn't say, well, I prayed it to be, so they might have thrown me out of the country. I don't know. But when you believe in going beyond limitation, it brings greater awareness, of course. And your discernment becomes remarkable. Why? Because you're in that greater wisdom within you. And you see, the true nature of not only reality, but you. And that then comes into your everyday life. All the things that we do every day in our lives. So it's about partnering with the universe in order to create this new reality for all of us. You're like a transformational agent with the universe. Now, you are also in a higher operating system beyond just the desire for things. There is absolutely nothing wrong with desiring things, don't get me wrong. But guess what happens when you get into the quantum field? Okay, I want that red, Maserati. Well, getting the red Maserati is fine, but guess what? You're still not happy. You drive around this wonderful car, but you're still not happy, right? So what happens when you get into this higher consciousness is you realize what's really important, and you realize maybe inner peace is a little more important. But there is this, seek you first the kingdom, and all else will be given to you. Maybe we can reword that a little bit to be a little more modern. Seek ye first your quantum powers, and it will all be given to you. So you ask for inner peace, and guess what comes with it? A red Maserati. Oh, yay, And that's how it works. That's how it works. So, think beyond limitation, and all of it will be given to you, because there's enough for everyone. Her third one was access your quantum powers. Access it. So this means living in the light. Living in the expectation of a higher form of life and a happier form of life. To know that the universe works. To know that in your heart that it works. And this brings up the word trust for me. Trust the universe. It is here for you always. It always has your back when you can open up to it. But we close ourselves off because of fear. As Plato's story continues, though you are out of the cave, you must not turn away from the light, no matter how bright or overwhelming it is, he says. You begin to see the truth and access your core strength. And then guess what? You realize you are the light. You are the light. You are that power. David Bohm, physicist, says we are frozen light, so we get to unfreeze. And it is as easy as opening your eyes and your mouth to speak. It really is easy, as long as you believe in unlimited possibilities. You put those limitations in, boom, you've stopped yourself right there. So the awareness that you are the light is the root of your quantum powers. That's how you access it. You know who you are. Jean Houston says it is ecstatic to live from this place. She says you experience beauty and magic everywhere. And you are able to chop wood, carry water, and go about your daily work in an efficient, harmonious way. You become a beacon to others. You feel yourself as a connected part of the universe, and you share the knowledge and experience of the universe itself, because you can't help it, because that's who you are. And that's so much fun. That's why I like getting up here. I just get to give you information. It's so much fun. But as Plato's story continues, the freed prisoner, having fully opened to the true reality that all the light has shown him, feels compelled to return to the cave and tell the others what he has discovered. But it's difficult for them to hear and to accept. And some even refuse. But he's planted the seed. He's planted the seed in the possibilities in those minds, and that's what's important. So in the same way, once you have stepped into the light and fully embraced it, it offers you all. It offers you all. And the beauty and the pain and the light and the darkness are no longer in opposition. So you have actually become an embodiment of the universe. So you are not just in partnership with the universe, you will be the universe that you are. And you will share it with others. And you will become that light, that beacon of light. And as I was saying this morning, Karen Drucker's, we are all angels who only have one wing because we need each other to fly. So that's why it's so important to share your light, share your love, because that's what that's all about. So our old systems are not working, and we must change. We each have the responsibility to step up, and we all have that potential within us. And we each have the freedom to turn from the shadows and walk into the light. We're always free, always. There's never anything to prevent us from looking to the light. Now, we each have our own special gifts and our own quantum powers that the world needs right now. Really, really needs, because we are one and we each have our own special gifts. I think that's beautiful. That's wonderful. But when we come together, then we begin to create a home that is free, that is caring, that is loving, and that cares for everyone and all the species of Mother Earth. So let us make this our intention, our expression of all that we do in our daily life, to love and care for this life from the point of quantum power and quantum partnership with the universe as the oneness that we are. Now, you will find that you learn things much more quickly, and you will have a sense that you are truly co-partnering with the universe. I just got back from being away for a month. Wow, all the stuff that I had to do. So I just stopped and said, okay, it will all get done. And guess what? It is all getting done. I have no stress. It's like time expands to meet my needs because I haven't worried about it. So when I don't worry about it, it falls together. And that's what I'm talking about. Your whole life will do that when you come from that higher consciousness. So, the message today is you need to become aware of how powerful you are. It's not scary. It's freeing. It's liberating. It's wonderful. It's ecstatic. And it's what the world needs. And you're all beautiful. You all can do it. So why don't you join me in just a few moments of meditation. All right, let's close our eyes and just relax those beautiful bodies. And just breathe. Breathe in that light. Envision it going into every cell of your body. Envision it filling your mind.